Okay, today is August 15th, and we're out here just dropping off our carcasses from fishing today. Today we went out and got salty, and the bite out there was a little bit interesting. So last time I was out there was 2 days ago, and we absolutely crushed them up north. And today it just seemed like it was kind of spotty, but it wasn't just up north, it was just about everywhere. It was really, really spotty fishing. You get a little micro bite, just like we saw in the river yesterday, where all of a sudden all these fish would come up and we'd get 2, 3, 4 on, and then all right, cool, here we go, it's going to start winding up. Then it would shut off and you'd go blank for a half hour and just kind of get one here, one there. It was frustrating because usually the ocean is a pretty easy little fishery to figure out. So it was a lot of moving around, a lot of running around today, but we ended up getting all of our fish for the boat. There were 5 customers, so plus myself, we ended up getting our 12. But you know, it also sounded like here in the river, the bite absolutely fell apart. Guys went from heroes yesterday to zeros today. I know a lot of guys today that only have maybe 1 or 2 bites in the river, and that's really interesting because usually these tides are really, really good fishing. So I'm not entirely sure why these fish would just kind of stop biting. I mean, they didn't go anywhere. These falling tides, just more fish start to come in, but for whatever reason, they just start shut off today. And we saw that a little bit in the ocean too. Just all of a sudden they start biting and then it'd slow down, start biting and then slow down. So the fantastic bite that we had in the river yesterday, we thought was going to continue. For whatever reason, died off here today. Hopefully tomorrow it'll pick back up. Maybe it's just we got a little bit of, it's not even a system, it's just this marine layer and south wind as opposed to northwest wind. Sometimes that barometer change might affect them, but who the heck knows? They're fish, and that's part of the fun. Why we come out here is because we don't know what to expect. Every day is different. We saw, as we were coming back in from the ocean, we saw at least a couple dozen boats fishing past Buoy 10, and the police were out there writing tickets, hopefully writing tickets. You can't fish on top of the Columbia River Bar, no matter how calm it is. From Buoy 10 to Buoy 4, it's closed to all angling, so do not fish outside anywhere west of Buoy 10, so make sure to mark that on your chart plotter. Also, that green line from the bridge right here behind me, all the way on down to Sawdust Pile, there were a couple boats that were fishing inside of that here today too. Remember, again, we have to stay north of that green line to remain legal. So just make sure you guys know all the rules out here. Make sure that you remain legal. The Coast Guard and police are out here working, and we want to make their job as easy as possible by not having to write up a bunch of tickets. Let's see. Oh yeah, today we did a little competition between bait on the starboard side and spin fish on the port side out in the ocean. And it was, honestly, it was about 50-50 for bites between the two. But the difference was is that when we hooked them on a spin fish, we landed them. The bites, we'd have to do the quick strip where you dump a bunch of lines, that way the bait flutters after you come up, and after you got like a little tap, a little slap and tickle, they come up and bite at it. They don't get hooked, so you dump some line 5 feet or so, makes that bait flutter, and the fish comes back around and smokes it. That's really frustrating because you're just burning through bait, and they short strike a lot. They're thieves, they pick you clean, and man, it's just amazing how they can pull those baits off those hooks. But with spin fish, they bite it, they're hooks, you got them. And maybe only lost, what did we lose? Maybe 2 or 3 fish total on the spin fish, maybe closer to 2 than 3. It was really nice. When that fish got hooked, he was pinned. Trying to figure out what to do tomorrow. I think what I'm going to do here tomorrow is go out in the salt again, and that's because looking at the weather forecast, the ocean is going to get pretty big here starting day after tomorrow on Tuesday. So even though these tides are optimal for fishing here in the river, especially for Chinook, after what I heard today from the slow bite and the fact that the ocean's going to get real big here in the coming week, I think I'm going to hold off on fishing the river and try and have some fun one more time out in the ocean before it gets big and we don't have a choice between the river or the ocean. So that is my plan right now. Probably, oh yeah, that was kind of cool actually today. Some of the coho that we caught today had no sea lice on them in the ocean and were kyped up and hard scaled, which means that they've been in fresh water quite a bit. And those fish that we caught weren't right at, like, say, the CR buoy. They were north 6-7 miles. So these fish are flushing in and out. And when we came back in, it seemed like even on that hard ebb, a lot of water flowing out right at maximum flow for the outgoing tide, there were guys trolling downstream down there by buoy 10 and catching fish. So this is making me think more and more and more that these fish are staging up further down in the system than in years past. I think they're staying below the bridge, and once we get them up here at the bridge, they're just flying, which reasons why we're having all these little micro bites up here by the bridge, where you get 3, 4, 5 bites real quick, and all right, here we go, and then nothing. It's because that group of fish is flying upriver. So the good news is, for you guys fishing upriver around Longview, you guys should have quite a few fish coming your way again. And once these tides bottom out here in about a week and start to come back up, you're going to see a really nice big push of fish. The ocean still has plenty of snook in it too, so this is going to be a good fall season. It really is. We're going to have our ups and downs like we always do, but it's going to be a good fall season for sure. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Maybe from the salt, maybe from the river. Later.